don't know.
Yeah. Okay. We need to use a group because I don't get notifications for it.
Okay.
I'll keep my number. All right.
I'm watching these now, so don't mess up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're hungry.
Such a mess.
Fine. I think I use the live though. And then she was like, "Are you going to bring it up for why you should have
Last time, I didn't dress up after we did that.
And I texted him, I was like, well, my friend told me like she knew that she knew. He's like, oh my god.
Why is it more not?
Daniel, you said quite good whenever you're ready.
I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna see how many people. Sabrina, I count good 10 here. 10.
Oh, we have 10 new ones.
We have 10 people here?
Yeah, put 10.
Okay. Let's remind you. We're gonna go ahead and get started. We have 10 council members here. I don't have the gals up there, sorry. Excuse me, everyone, we're gonna we're gonna get started with the council meeting since we have a quorum with 10 people. We will begin. And there's 11, so. Thank you, everyone. I want to call this meeting in order at 7 o'clock. Sorry, I don't have the gavel, I misplaced it. So we can begin, Kevin, with the signing of the attendance sheet. So if you want to go ahead and pass that around, thank you. First, we can go into approval of the agenda. So I can entertain any amendments to the agenda. Sabrina?
So I would like, we have to have a vote on it, obviously, but I would like to add to confirm the election results onto the agenda. Just so everything that happened last week, it was kind of misinformation, miscommunicated, but we do need to confirm those results.
Okay. And
Under
that would
new
be-
business.
Would that be under new
New
business?
business with a little
New business,
asterisk.
and this would be confirm election results. Okay, so that would be our first item. Let me just write that down. Sorry. Additional amendments to the agenda, Amy? Okay. ARC has been struck. Ashley?
I need to strike AC properly.
Thank you. Additional amendments to the agenda. Okay, seeing none, since we are adding an item to the agenda, this will need to be, yes,
I think to strike room defenders.
okay,
We don't have any interrupting, you will not be here.
okay, sure. So, since, we're adding an item to the agenda, we're gonna have to just make sure we have a 2/3 vote, I believe that's correct, so that we can confirm that, just so you all are aware. So I can entertain a motion to, approve the agenda as amended. Yes.
I will check the agenda as amended.
Second by Samir. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All those opposed? No, those abstaining? Okay, 11, 0 vote. The agenda has been approved as mentioned. Thank you. Now moving into the approval of the minutes from our last council meeting, May 2nd, 2017. Is there any objections to the minutes or any questions? Seeing none, I can entertain a motion to approve the minutes from May 2nd, 2017. Ashley?
I'm going to approve the minutes for May 2nd, 2017.
Can I have a second, please? Second by Drew. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All those opposed? No others abstaining? 10, 0, 1 vote. The minutes from our previous council meeting, May 2nd, 2017, have been approved. Now we'll move into public comment. The first round of public comment will be audio only, and we'll go around the room. And then we'll do a round of audio and visual public comment. So I'll start directly here at the gentleman in the light blue shirt. And then I'll go around the room. Sorry to single you out. We'll go around the room this way, and then if you want to have an audio only public comment, then just feel free to speak. So audio only public comment. Comment. Just to make sure. Sorry, my finger on you. Just turn that. Yes.
Hello, so my name is Jamie. I'm with Calper. I just want to give an update. So over the weekend, we went to our annual board meeting. We voted to make 100% renewable energy our lead campaign for fall. Also, I was elected the statewide board chair, so UCLA will be represented next year. So this week, thank you, we have moved into Pledge. So for those of you who don't know, Pledge is our fundraising system. We do it because in the 90s, we ran this huge environmental campaign, the Big Green, and companies like Shell didn't like us, so they convinced the Regents to kick us off campus. We fought in the legislature for 2 years to get back on, and they eventually were like, this is a horrible infringement on students' ability to be activists, so they threatened to withhold funds from UCs if they didn't let us back on. So they did, but then they gave us Pledge, because they thought if we had to ask people individually for money, it would be too hard, it would give up, and we wouldn't be able to fight for student issues. So my ask is that if you go out on broom walks like this week, please pledge support student activists. Also, this is Bridget, she'll be doing this from now on. She is going to be our coalition coordinator. So if you ever want to work on any projects with Calbridge, she's the person to know.
Thank you. So moving on to additional audio only public comment. The audio only public comment. Okay, seeing none, move to audio and visual public comment. Audio and visual public comment, going around the room. Sorry if I don't feel like we lock eyes, just to make sure I acknowledge you. Try again. Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Moving on, so we have one special presentation for tonight's council meeting. This is a special presentation, the Gen 2 entrepreneur presentation. So if the presenters would like to come up to the front of the room and once you're assembled, everyone, for your special presentation, you'll have up to 15 minutes to present, then you'll have followed by 5 minutes of any questions from the council. So let me just make sure I get my timer out. Whenever you're ready, please begin.
All right, hey everyone, it's great to meet you all. My name is David Liu. This is my co-director, Nick Edmond.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. This is Bridget. You all knew that. This is Emmanuel. Yeah, so we are a collaboration station, a committee within the Office of the General Representative. And so, yeah, here are our goals and mission. So basically, when we first found this committee, we wanted to focus it on establishing more spaces and more resources for study groups on campus. However, when we realized that this would not be the most feasible and also not the most effective, we decided to pivot to more entrepreneurial direction, which is kind of what we were going for, to help that community more so anyway. So basically, through these slides, we're going to be talking about what we've done over the year and how we've gone from starting off in the fall to more of a collaboration station emphasis to more of a more entrepreneurial emphasis to better serve the student body. All right, so our starting point was a makerspace, and basically we had the idea, obviously, we want to provide more 3D printers and all that, and we did provide 3D printer, and we'll talk more about that later. But basically, so the makerspace is a space that's opening up in River Hall next year, and basically it's going to have a lot of resources for students to make anything they want. There's gonna be Arduino processing machines, 3D printers, lots of software. Basically, we met with the managers of Makerspace, and basically they really needed a lot of student input on what the Makerspace could bring, because the Makerspace administrators, they don't want to waste a lot of funding on resources that would not be relevant to the student body. So that's where we came in. We did a lot of outreach effort. We worked with the administrators very intensely to provide a lot of feedback, and basically this kind of moves on to the Entrepreneurship Coalition meeting that Emmanuel was talking about. But basically, we gathered student input from the top student leaders of the entire campus, of the top entrepreneurial leaders of the entire campus. So we did this to really we did this to really relay the input to the administration. So next, our meeting with Idris. This was we talked about the makerspace a lot. We're gonna have a huge event for all the entrepreneurship clubs to kind of get together for a huge presentation. The makerspace is opening next fall though. Originally it was gonna open this winter. That didn't happen, so okay, anyway, so
and just to be clear, there's gonna be a makerspace both in the Nev on the 3rd floor and in the body of River Hall where the printing room used to be. Just wanted to make that clear to the 2 makerspaces. Super.
All right, so the entrepreneurship floor. This is something that our office was sort of involved in, but mostly as a personal thing I've been working on since last quarter. So since last year, so last spring quarter we got together, Bruin entrepreneurs in design, Blackstone Launchpad, ORL, OCHC, and a couple other campus groups to basically try to figure out a place where we can have a physical place where entrepreneurs can come together, live together, and learn together. So the Design and Innovation Living Learning Community was formed. So this year I live on that floor, which is awesome. It's made up of a third designers, a third entrepreneurs, and a third kind of those artsy people for in and outs, and then quite a few coders. If you want the best Wi-Fi on campus, come to our floor. Whiteboards in the halls and whiteboard desks and that type of stuff, come to our floor. We also have specific events, like we went to the Maker Fair that went on in San Diego. We have weekly nights where we host workshops on things like basic Objective-C design all the way up to Java and whatnot. And so, yeah, the entrepreneurship floor has been doing a lot of good stuff, and hopefully next year we can get a lot more students involved in the space and applying to the space.
So, like what David was talking about, we had an entrepreneurship coalition meeting. Basically, one of the first things we wanted to get done was pretty much do what our office is for, which was get the voice of the students on campus. So we organized this meeting. Around 30 entrepreneurship clubs came with their representatives. It was an open floor discussion. A lot of requests and concerns were made, and a lot of them were taken all of them were taken very seriously. Here's a few of them. Better Wi-Fi, more awareness of entrepreneurship on campus, more collab stations, and connect more places to connect ideas with technology. We were then able to, what they just said, relay all of the requests to the makerspace, what they wanted. They They had more requests than this actually. And we're actually going to be able to meet with the Chancellor Jean Block to relay all those requests. It's like probably like 7-page request. Relay the requests to Jean Block. We'll have fun making through all of that. There you go. Yeah, that's us. We also met with Student Affairs Advisor Janelle Mungia just to get more information about the entrepreneurship minor currently. She informed us about a mentorship program where undergraduates meet with graduates to connect in whatever they do research and projects. Classes are taught by temporary lectures, and we also learned a lot of limitations about the minor that we also want to work on to enhance, like there only being 250 spots and it only being it being restricted from engineering majors. And once again, we also met with Blackstone Launchpad, Gamma Evans, and Jaime Balboa. Really great. We learned a lot about the services that they had, about temporary funding workshops they had, and we were able to pretty much try to promote what they had going on there, help increase awareness about their services, and once again, we also laid out the requests and concerns that the Entrepreneurship Council had. And we also met with the Career Center. Sian Mitsunaga and Leslie Thorne were very open to working with us. We learned a lot about the services they had, and it was kind of like a you scratch our back, we scratch your back dynamic we had with them, where we would be able to advertise a lot of the events that they put on that was pertinent to entrepreneurship. And in turn, they helped us form this SpaceX site visit, which is actually going to take place next week. We got applications, cut them down to about 15 people. And yeah, we're going to take membership.
All right, so the TREP Council meeting. So USAC has never been a part of the Entrepreneurship Council on campus. It is made up of the Easton Center, the Price Center, Anderson, the law school, and several other groups, and USAC's just never been part of that conversation. And so one of the really neat things is the more we talk to people within this group, the more we're connected with this little web of entrepreneurship at UCLA. We actually have a very cool design that we passed out to all the new Bruins. So David talked to like 500 new Bruins on Bruin Day about entrepreneurship and about all the opportunities that exist at UCLA. And we came up with a comprehensive list, like the web map, to basically share that with the new students that are incoming. But yeah, we basically got involved in the meeting. We got involved with Innovation Week. We got involved with bringing VinServe to campus. We didn't really do much of that, but the committee did that as a whole. And VinServe was the founder of the internet. But yeah, that's it. Deolian, we met with her to basically talk about a series of items. Most importantly, our goal was to get more funding for the entrepreneurship minor and figure out how the entrepreneurship minor works. So right now, Anderson basically pays for the entrepreneurship minor. They kind of do it as like a community service thing. They pay for 40% of the minor. The engineering school kind of refused to pay for much of the minor, and that's why engineering students cannot enroll in the minor. But that's something in the next coming weeks when we meet with the Dean of Engineering. We will hope to change that and work with her and the Vice Provost as well. Next. So same thing with the Vice Provost. We talked a lot about, we sent out a survey. We interviewed several hundred business economics and economics students, asking them, would they rather be an economics or business economics major, or would you rather be a more business-specific major like business administration, marketing, finance, or something like that? 97% responded that they wanted to be in a marketing, business administration type major because they did not like the theoretical side of what they were learning, and they didn't feel like they were learning enough practical skills. And so we made that known to the Vice Provost.
All right. So the next person we met with was Dr. Al Osborne, who is the Senior Associate Dean of the Anderson School. And so we brought with him a couple of our concerns about the feasibility about a business major and an entrepreneurship minor. And he told us right off the bat that UCLA actually used to have a business major back in the 50s, but due to switches in funding, it had to be stopped basically. And he's actually the person who created the entrepreneurship minor on campus at UCLA. So we talked to him about what his vision of entrepreneurship at UCLA might be, and he really stressed an active learning approach. approach. He didn't disparage the theory of learning in a classroom or whatnot, but he really felt that students in entrepreneurship needed the hands-on experience of working in the business world. So that was his vision for entrepreneurship. And we also talked about ways we could expand the entrepreneurship minor. Specifically, he talked about maybe adding courses, lower div courses in entrepreneurship that can be taken by 300 people. And that's an introduction to entrepreneurship before they even go to the minor. Because people aren't even allowed to apply to the minor until third year. And some people may want to get started on learning about entrepreneurship earlier. So they definitely talked about more professors, more classes, as well as expanding the entrepreneurship minor from 250 to 500 people. And one other thing, so that was kind of the extent of our meetings, and we're going to be meeting with Senior Dean Anderson in a week or two to kind of finalize the knots of our year and continue meeting with him in the future. But kind of moving on, we're talking about moving back to Collaboration Station to make sure that we fulfill the campaign promises that we meant to. So one of the things we talked about was providing 3D printers. And while 3D printers are really expensive, we were able to secure funding for one, and we actually were able to get it here about 2 weeks ago to be able to put in one of the study space on campus. Unfortunately, however, someone stole our 3D printer. We don't know where it is. So if you guys know anything about that, that'd be great. But we really want to be able to provide that 3D printer for student spaces. And finally, one other thing we did was ask for funding for the ARSF app for office supplies in the Clip Laboratory. We were able to secure $250 in funding for whiteboard monitors for the Clip Lab, and we'll be able to provide those by the end of the year. And finally, something Emmanuel mentioned earlier about coordinating with CM Mitsunaga. She's been my liaison to talk to the SpaceX coordinator and helping plan this SiteX visit. So we've been talking for over the past 2 months, trying to coordinate number of people allowed, type of things in the application. We put out the application and got 92 responses. We can only offer 18 spots to it. So next week, David and Rushin are going to lead a team to go over to SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne and take those people so they can take a tour of SpaceX. They can have the resumes read by employers and they can network as well, which I think will be a really great opportunity. So in summary, we started out as Collaboration Station and tried to hold true to that in some way by providing funding for ClickLab and a 3D printer. But we also, throughout the year, after learning about the makerspaces, saw that there was another need for entrepreneurship to be filled, and that's where our committee decided to go for the majority of the year through winter and spring. And yeah, thank you guys very much for listening, and hope you enjoyed this presentation.
Thank you for your presentation. Now I'll open it up to 5 minutes of questions from any council members. So, any questions, council?
Yes, Serena?
Yes.
I hate to focus on this part, but how did you guys lose the printer? Didn't you get the funding like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, so thanks for mentioning that, Nick. I actually got a call from the detective today. They do have a lead, and they are tracking the guys down who took it. Turns out the sheriff office has been open to a lot of incoming and outgoing groups, and so it was in there temporarily. And during that time, someone had left the general door open. Someone was able to come in at midnight, but it wasn't the only office in Kirkhoff that was stolen from. There were several offices that they're trying to confiscate. So that's one thing. Also, I do want to mention before we go any further that there are 2 other amazing members of this committee. Hugh Baker, she's a freshman, she's incredible, and the other one's the 3rd year Franklin Vanderwine. He's done so much work with this office, with TSR, and with FAST. So, yeah.
Thank you all for your presentation. Just a quick question about how did you determine student need and desire for these 3D printers in these spaces? Considering I know there are already 3D printers in the YRL space that are able to be accessed by both undergraduates and graduate students.
So we did have our Entrepreneurship Coalition meeting that Emmanuel talked a lot about during the fall. And it is part of our it's part of our platform, I guess, when we reach a grant to provide these types of resources to the students. So we want to fulfill our platform promises and deliver on this.
Oh yeah, my question was more like, did you do surveys of like general student body to ascertain that this is a need from the student body?
No, we didn't do surveys for the general student body. What we did was we had the presidents of the major entrepreneurial boards, the major South Campus boards in this room, and they kind of sent what they wanted or what they didn't want. I didn't know that was a resource, and that's really good to know. That's me. But one of the things they really wanted in the makerspace on the Hill, as well as in the Venture Accelerator at Anderson, was 3D printer or multiple 3D printers. And in the week that it was in the office, it was used by 2 or 3 different clubs.
Any other questions? Yes, Amy?
In your presentation, you had mentioned the design innovation floor. My question is exactly what did the Gen 2 office contribute to build on that floor? Because I know that floor was already in place by USAC, so it wasn't something that was just developed this year.
Yeah, so that is something that I said at the beginning of the presentation, where that this floor was more of my personal thing and less so as a general office. It's something that I've been working on as a representative of brewed entrepreneurs to the floor. But the office definitely, for example, there's an event next week with Adobe that the floor is hosting with Creative Labs. And the office helps out with marketing that and doing a lot of stuff in general with that. But we haven't done much with the office itself has not done much with the floor as much as I personally have in making sure the floor is nice.
Any additional questions? Yes.
You talked about entrepreneurship being considered co-curricular with Pat Turner. I'm just curious to see, what the conversation was in talking with her and how to be advocate for this co-curricular.
So when we were talking to her, we were talking about ways to increase the entrepreneurship minor, like membership and stuff like that. But she said in order to do that, we need to turn it from something that's co-curricular, which isn't like namely a GE or something like that, into something that's more of like a GE or a requirement. And we were in favor of that, but that would require moving a lot of resources around the office in the School of Letters and Sciences, which is hard to do, unfortunately.
Thank you. Yes, sorry.
So after a year of these incredible accomplishments that you presented, how do you see USAC continuing these contributions next year?
So I think the big thing is that we can work with the administrators more to really open up the entrepreneurship honor to be available for each use. When I met with the director of Green Entrepreneurs, for example, which is like the largest entrepreneurship organization like on campus, when I met with him, about like half of Green Entrepreneurs were in use. And the thing is, the entrepreneurship minor isn't available to those people. It's not available to the School of Engineering. Because the Oral Dean of Engineering there is a new dean, and I believe that USAC can effectively demonstrate student interest, and we can work with the new dean to push this to make the minor available to the half of the people that really want it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, that concludes your presentation. Thank you. Moving on to the next part of our agenda, we have member comments. And so then we will move directly into officer and member reports. So I have a report to share. Today, I just got back from the University of California Office of the President. Each quarter, all the student body presidents, undergraduates, and graduates meet with President Napolitano to discuss a wide range of different campus issues. And so just to give you a recap of what we discussed, we had a call with Kathleen Salvati, who's the system-wide Title IX coordinator, previously with the Title IX coordinator at UCLA, and sort of about different ways that they want to incorporate student input in the future and the policy revisions and whatnot, and they're going to have a future conference call. So nothing was substantial coming out of that. We also spoke with Kevin Confetti, who's the Deputy Chief Risk Officer at UCOP, sort of doing worker compensation, making sure that employees or students who are on fellowships and different scholarships, or not technical employees, can still receive workers' compensation if they are, have an injury while they are working on the university in some capacity. And a few of the items we spoke with the president about was one, the state audit, which I'm sure a number of you have heard about. The state audit, which alleged that $170 million was being overspent or not spent correctly by UCOP. And so we really had a good discussion on sort of the breakdown of that, like the $83 million of that is restricted specifically for research. $49 million of that is for system-wide initiatives, such as things focusing on cybersecurity, on documented student support, public service, and also have $38 million of it is in reserve that they use for an operating budget for UCOP. So it was interesting hearing from the president in terms of like what they thought and their sort of analysis, their reaction to the audit, which has really been generating a lot of attention in the media, and also prevented the president to do quarterly conference calls with the student newspapers across the system. So that was really great to see in terms of strides for transparency. We also spoke about a follow-up on when controversial speakers come to campus and sort of how, policing procedures are used by the university in terms of, we talked about wanting to advocate for a standardized protocol for officers. Making sure that they're being professional. I guess there's been some incidents at Berkeley in the past, specifically, Milo and the idea of Ann Coulter was going to speak there. Also, limiting circumstances that, officers can wield machine guns or other ballistic type of regalia or weapons. And sort of this was a discussion, it was a commitment from the president, but we had a wide-ranging discussion on this. And I brought up a proposal for a system-wide advisory committee on international student experience. We are in the midst of the Vice Chancellor's Advisory Committee on International Students, which we are in the final stages of implementing. And so seeing the success at UCLA, we wanted to see if there would be interest at a system-wide level to have a support committee. President Napolitano has a lot of different committees, advisory on a lot of different initiatives or specific groups, communities across the UC, but there's nothing designated for international students. So she said she would consider it, so we'll see what happens if that's a reality or not. We also spoke about UC SHIP and health insurance for students. There's some issues, I guess, at UC Merced, and students are receiving their UC SHIP and their deductibles. And lastly, we spoke about just the need for housing security, engaged, and wanted to get the president's take on, with an increase in housing structures that are being built to accommodate the increased enrollment across the UC in the coming 2020 to 2025 period, seeing like how that's going to affect the students. So we had a really wide-ranging discussion, and it was a great way to end our quarterly meetings. Any questions from the council? Okay, thank you. Moving on to our internal vice president.
Mine will be a little shorter. But basically the one big thing is that our alumni gala is June 4th. I've emailed you all about it before. If you fill out the Google form I sent out, I'll be sending out to more information in the actual event. But if you fill out the Google form, you'll get the invite to the gala. And then for any new incoming council members who are here right now, you're also invited as well. We'll send out more information on that. But June 4th at 6:30 p.m. I believe. I can double check the timing. But please do attend. Except for putting a lot of work on it, and hopefully it'll get a good chunk of money into different student groups, which will be really nice. And then, yeah, that's for our IVP. Rafi just says for his, he said he's really sorry. His plane is stuck in Oakland still. And bye, and thank you for listening to him for a year.
Any questions for Sabrina? Yes. Okay, thank you. Moving on to the academic affairs commission.
Alrighty, just a quick few updates. So previously I met with Mitsuya Koda, who serves as the Director of Curricular Initiatives in College Academic Counseling. So we discussed a possible AAC partnership to carry on into the future for having more counseling efforts, especially with enrollment being constantly increased, as well as spaces both outdoor and indoor, also sometimes lacking. So hopefully this is something that we can continue next year in partnering up with College Academic Counseling as well as the Division of Undergraduate Education, because again, I think AAC does need more representation within these spaces to actually combat these issues of over-enrollment as well as counseling efforts. And then lastly, we do have our appointments town hall and info session, like I mentioned last week. That'll be happening Thursday, May 18th in Humanities 826 from 6 to 7 p.m. So like I said before, it's a great opportunity to find out about appointments not only occur in Office of the President, but also Academic Affairs Commission, and definitely provide a lot of representation within the Academic Senate. So I encourage not only yourself if you're looking to get more involved in this space, as well as your various staff members. I know a bunch of you in the incoming council are also in the room, so this is a great opportunity to spread to not only the staff members in your office, but also the Slate community.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, moving on to the Student Wellness Commission.
Okay, a quick update on the menstrual hygiene products sort of project that we've been working on this past year. So far we've distributed about over 7,000 menstrual hygiene products collectively since November through the Ash Center and the LGBT Center as well. And then I have one question for you, Roy. I'm not really sure if is it possible for offices to reward grants, so to speak, for other student organizations or campus centers that may be pursuing some sort of health-related project? Like a grant or something like that?
Like a grant or
Okay,
help.
yes.
I think so, within your commission's funding, I think as long as, you know, you can reasonably assess that it fits your mission and the sort of the description that was associated with your referenda on you, it's kind of the ultimate guide. But I think so, I mean, it's a bit late in the year to initiate this, you probably have a little bit of window to start trying to do this year. As long as it fits that sort of description.
And that's it.
Any questions? Okay, moving on to the Facilities Commission.
So last week at council meeting, a couple students touched upon the reevaluation of student group funding, specifically for cultural groups. And so I had plans to talk to Finance Committee Kevin yesterday, but those plans went through. We did have a casual conversation about the implementation of a base budget for culture groups made at the end of every year. I think as of now, it's you know, I don't have enough information to touch upon that, but I'm glad that we started the conversation.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, moving on to the Financial Supports Commission.
Hey everyone, so I have a quick job last week about financial charge and we want to do it well. Early students will be able to rent the charges are going to be Monday the 15th, latest by Thursday. And students will be able to rent them 4 hours at a time. And it's going to be free of charge. I actually have one with me right now. It's really fun, central, and students can enjoy it.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, moving on to the Campus Events Commission.
Hey everyone, so in about 30 minutes, I'm screening Arthur, so everyone here is free, go to that. We also have speaker Katia from RuPaul's Drag Race. She's going to be speaking tomorrow. Katia will be in Grand Barn tomorrow, 7 p.m. to do a 1-hour event. So doing half of it will be a sort of a lecture format, the other half will be a Q&A. So you come prepared questions. We're working on setting up a meet and greet. We will have that soon. We also have a free movie. We're showing A Dog's Purpose today after on this Thursday, if you haven't watched it yet. On May 17th is our co-program with SWC for the fitness concert, and we just announced that the DJ's Cruella. So if you want to come to a free set for Cruella, it's gonna be a workout, but like a concert. It's a little weird concept. It'll be a lot of fun. And I'm gonna brag about that a little because I'm really excited because I've been working on it since November. And I got Zoom to pay for most of the entire concert, including the honorarium, so pretty much most of it, pretty much free. And so I'm excited about that. And lastly, we have our Short Takes Film Festival finale, and that's going to be on May 23rd. And we got over 50 submissions of different films from students and from all over the world. So we're going to be screening the winners there and rewarding prizes. So you should definitely come out to that. And that's it for one more. And then on May 22nd, we're working with BPU for kind of a nonpartisan. I don't know. It's a speaking panel. It's going to be with Anna Kasparian, who's the host of Young Turks, and I'm also with 2 professors here at UCLA. One is a poli-sci and one is a prom professor. And it's going to be talking about different public events going on right now, and it's meant to be a free space for people of all political ideologies to come through and talk about issues without it being an aggressive kind of conversation. So you should definitely keep the event when it comes out. It's coming out soon. And that's it for CDCs.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, moving on to General Representative.
Hi
Hi, everyone. This week I wanted to go over just kind of general overview of what my office has been working on this whole year, just so for transparency's sake. When I ran for this position, I envisioned platforms that were accessible for all students on campus that could be used by every single Bruin. I ran under 3 main platforms that touched on scholarship, career planning, and school spirit. First, I'll talk about scholarship. So we were able to give students access to discounted LSAT and GRE prep courses on campus. This is a response from student demand for cheaper post-guided test prep options with the rising cost of tuition nationally. We partnered with Campus Prep, which is a highly accredited organization that is offering Bruins courses at $200 instead of upwards of $1,500, like Blueprint, and $160 for those who qualify for financial aid. So I highly encourage everyone to take that resource into account. The second was to create a scholarship portal on MyUCLA, which gives students access to internal and external scholarships that they might qualify for. This goes live under your finances tab on MyUCLA next week. So be on the lookout for that, especially in the season where it's a lot of deadlines are coming up, and with the new school year starting in just a few months, crazy. But definitely be on the lookout for that. We also started a scholarship spotlight campaign on Facebook, which highlighted scholarships that typically go under applied for UCLA students. So these are the type of scholarships that, they get 1 or 2 applicants, so you're kind of a shoo-in to get it if you really just put in some effort to apply. We also offered help with student essay writing for these scholarships as well. For our career planning aspect of my platforms, we partnered with Career Center to revamp Career Week with what's trending in the job market to bring Bruins access to more jobs that were relevant and up and coming in this new market. We hosted a panel and event centered around corporate social responsibility, and we're able to bring in 2 really great companies that represented North Campus and South Campus majors. And my office sat on an ad hoc board with the Career Center that was responsible for getting the Career Center to highlight more socially responsible companies at their Career Week fairs. We also wanted to focus a lot on school spirit because that's something we value a lot at UCLA. In my opinion, one of the best universities in the whole world. So we institutionalized a long leg and hammock rental program on campus so that students can spend more time outdoors, just chilling, enjoying their campus, working on their mental health, creating more student spaces on campus so that they can study, because we all know it gets really crowded in libraries and sometimes we just want to spend a little time outdoors reading for our classes. It was an attempt to bring some chill back to this campus. So with that, thank you very much for listening to my member reports for the past many, many weeks.
Thank you. Any questions for Zoe? Okay, seeing none, move on to our general representative.
Yeah, so sure. So last Saturday, we had a pretty successful week with, I think, something like 12 to 15 kids who showed up at 8 a.m. to go clean up the beach. That was pretty cool. Last Tuesday, we also had a resume. This is from a couple weeks ago because I didn't give a member report last week. Last Tuesday, we also had a resume workshop in the BDR. That one was not a success. So not as successful. We had like 10 people go. So pretty bad. This past weekend, I had a chance to take a couple of students and we went up to San Jose, Silicon Valley, for the world's largest entrepreneurship conference, ICON. So thank you AAC for finding us there. And yeah, it was a really good time. Got to meet lots of cool people and have UCLA be represented at this conference. Incredible. Number 4, SpaceX. So we are next Friday. We are taking 20 students to SpaceX. You're going to pay for the rides there, or you're paying for the rides back. The reason why it's so special is because SpaceX is looking to really pull their next generation of interns and their next hires out of this group. So there were lots of people that really wanted to go, and so we had a long wait list, but we kind of figured out our 20 people, and I'm really when we get this chance to do it. Okay, this is for both new council and old council. Old council, I sent you guys all an invite, including the administrators, to the Charlesville lecture series. It happens every year. This one, so it's going to be next Tuesday. I asked specifically that they move the time of the dinner to 15 minutes earlier so that all of you council can attend their meeting on time as well as attend the joke lecture series. So it will be attended by Monroe Gordon, Deb Geller will be there. Several administrators like Ken Heller, Mick DeLuca will be there. So if you guys have a chance to go, it's a fully plated dinner for free. Please RSVP by this week. As for new council, I will get all your emails when we transition and what? No, because I didn't get my email until 2 months later, okay? So I will get all of your personal emails tonight, and I will also send you invitations to them. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, moving on to our general representative 3.
Alright, we call Denver 3 unless we have 3 events coming up. The first one is the storytelling workshop this Friday. It's going to be Acronym 2408, held by Dr. Nicole Nicole, who is current resident physician at UCLA. Great guy. He also worked on the Obama campaign. There's a lot of advocacy work. I mentioned before. That should be 3 to 5 p.m. Again, Acronym 2408 this Friday. If we combine storytelling is a huge, it's a huge skill to have that is, I think, personally slept on in a lot of different professions. And in writing, whatever, telling your story and telling people, I think is very important. So definitely try to combine that. Second, next Wednesday we have a comedy event with Shenanigans Comedy Club. This is going to be a charity and follow-up event for Alzheimer's research. Also partnering with the youth movement with Alzheimer's for their cause. But we encourage all students from like all different backgrounds, all different skill levels to come and participate. We're going to have comedians from BuzzFeed, the Improv Space, as well as a few other comedy clubs performing. But we want a good mix so that people are welcome to just come on stage, put your name in the hat, and bring your friends. I think it could be a really good time. It's also kind of a de-stressing in the middle of midterms week, and a build up to spring singing as well. So after that, the next week, May 24th, that Wednesday from I believe 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, we're gonna have a big event called the Bruin Games at Sunset Rec. This is going to include games from around the world. We're having currently reaching out to different cultural groups who want to come share their traditions and come share the different ways they have their festivities and their games, as well as some of you might be familiar with the cornhole, spike ball, and we're currently registering a team for 5v5 soccer and dodgeball, which will be happening on the Mesa lawn right next door. We'll have food. We'll have all sorts of prizes ranging from cultural prizes to other more useful prizes that might be used for your own mental health, for your personal health, for all walks of life, I guess. So on top of that, we're currently waiting for a grant for water coolers, I guess, from TGI committee. But if those are approved, we'll hopefully have containers for other events as well available for all students to use after this initial event. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Definitely stay tuned.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, seeing none, move on to our transfer student representative.
So May 12th will be Transfer Brewing Day. What we're doing with that is we're helping out with Pilot Day, RASA, Transfer Admin Day, SEND, and BBTS's Blackburn Transfer Extravaganza. We have our mentor applications going out next week, and then we'll help with the curriculum for transfer transitions over the summer, which happens July and August.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, moving on to the Community Service Commission.
So the main thing coming up for our quarter is Miranda, Audra and also talk about myself. Director is coming out her report later, but main thing is the Bob Michaels Award, our scholarship for those involved in service. is due May 21st. On that Sunday, it is a $1,000 scholarship for Leadership and Service Award. So over the next couple of weeks, I'll be resharing it. Please forward that on. And then I want to end bringing up last week's meeting and everything that occurred there to share what CSC is doing on our side regarding this. Creating a space on our staff meeting to sort of process while also educate on the issues taking place here on campus and what happened last week. And it will be this upcoming Wednesday, our general meeting with all of our projects, taking time there to go over everything that's happened, provide space to process it now as we are transitioning. We're transitioning in a way in which we are looking to address what's happened at the end of the year. So that way, we don't transition into a new council acting like what happened at last week's meeting did not happen. So as a way of doing that, which we're already talking about and we're anxious to be transitioning a new year with, is looking at how we engage more cultural organizations and participation from students of all backgrounds, everything ranging from our cultural works to entities of retention and outreach here through the community programs office, as well as our service organizations here. And overall, as we transition to the end of the year, we're going to be looking at restructuring next year and how we increase that USAC support from the Community Service Commission side. I can only speak on behalf of the Community Service Commission, but I ask that other offices, as they transition, take this in mind as they communicate with their successors, resuming the role at this council table, and to address the issue, so it just doesn't end tonight or last week. Because last week happened. Yes, Friday happened, but that doesn't supersede what happened on Tuesday at our meeting. So, anyway.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question. Well, first of all, yes, thank you, and I like how you're going the education route for this. That's amazing. My question though is what you're talking about first. The bylaw change for the supplemental award, is that going to be happening this year with this scholarship? The SARDI,
Right, so what will happen there with the bylaw change is, so that has to deal with surplus. So it will be in the next surplus cycle. So it'll be the surplus from this year that the next council allocates typically in January.
Yeah.
So that'll be the first time that actually happens, but luckily we have enough in the fund now, thanks to the support of Bob Michaels to continue the supplement through next year as well as the scholarship. But the actual surplus allocation will not start until the next surplus section. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Okay, thank you. Moving on to our administrative representatives.
I have a couple of things. So first, I just want to pull up the calendar. I sent everyone an exit packet via email. We're trying to agree and not print a bunch of paper. So if you have any questions, let me know. But the important dates to highlight are that you can begin transitioning and moving out of your office, and your official move-out date that needs to be complete by will be Monday, May 22nd. Your office access will end then in terms of swiping your cards to get into the office. And USAC installation will be on Sunday, the 21st, and I'll pass out some invitations that you all can share with your family and friends, whoever you want to invite. A big thing to note in terms of the rec deadline is to try to get recs in from this year by May 31st. And just so you're all aware, you will still have to sign off on all of your recs through this year. So if you get them by May 31st, that will just help the processing of it by SGA. And then because of the rec deadline being May 31st, you can keep your mailbox access until June 1. This way, if anybody turns in recs that you normally retrieve from your mailbox, you'll still be able to access that. And yeah, any questions, just let me know. That's it.
Okay. Any additional administrative representatives have want to share? Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you for your updates. And that transitions us out of officer and member reports. Now we move on to fund allocations. So for our first allocation, we have contingency. So Kevin, if you have anything you want to share.
Okay, for this week, there were 19 applications, one of which was USAC related, so I'll start with USAC. The first office, the only office outside was USAC. They requested for 450, the recommended amount was 450.
Okay, so first, I can entertain a motion to approve the funding for the USAC.
I move to approve $450.
Second, second by Ariel. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All those opposed? No one's abstaining. This allocation has been approved.
For the other 18 organizations outside that were non-USAC, the requested amount was $19,645.28. The recommended amount was $11,247.
Thank you.
I move to approve travel contingency for $11,247. Oh, contingency. Just contingency.
Yeah.
Program. Sorry. I move to approve contingency for $11,247.
Thank you. May I have a second? Second by Eno. Yes.
If we're on the board for an organization employee for that about the contingency, we have to abstain.
You can technically vote because you're not like voting as a council member for your office, it's for student or for that side of it, school, et cetera, so you can vote. But it's up to your own discretion if you don't want to. Yeah.
Okay. So, second by Ruth. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All those opposed? None of those abstaining? This allocation has been approved. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to academic success referendum.
We have one allocation, it's for the amount of $1,000 for the 4 years annual sophomore year.
Thank you. This is a consent item, so unless there are any questions, seeing none, this application has been approved by consent. Next, moving on to the student bonus program.
Okay, so we have 2 for this week, one from Rubel's, which was not funded because we can't fund food as we needed in the application. And then one for general 3, which was partially funded for $108.60, again, because we can't fund food.
Thank you. This is also a consent item, so unless there are any questions or questions. Seeing none, this allocation has been approved by consent. That concludes our funding allocations. Next, we move into old business. The USAC reform ad hoc committee update. So, if any of the committee members would like to share anything.
I got this. Me and Ashley talked about this, having a town hall week 7, but who goes to anything week 7? So I think I'm gonna work with the new council members to try and create a campaign on USAC reform, but I'll keep everyone posted on that when I have a quick second.
Okay, any additional questions? Okay, sounds good. That concludes our old business. We have one item of new business that we added to the agenda. Is the confirmation of the election results for this year's USAC election. So I'll turn it over to our whatever you want to.
Yeah, I'll just read out the results. I'm sure you all have heard. For president, Ariel Charzadeh, got 5,505 votes. For internal vice president, between Neha Qureshi and Vivi Lee, Neha got 3,201 or 45.7% of the vote. Vivi got 3,804 or 54.3%, so Vivi Lee will be the next IVP. For external vice president, Chloe Chan got 1,158 or 55.9%. Sophie Butler got 2,016 or 27.1%. Jack Price got 1,260 or 17%. So Chloe Chan will be next VP. For general representative, the way it's calculated is a little tricky. So I'll just say group one, general representative position. So gen rep 1 is Nicole Corona Diaz. Gen rep 2 is Kayla Huff. And gen rep 3 is Justin Jackson. For academic affairs commissioner, Emma Zawacki got 2,915 votes, or 41.5%. Divya Sharma got 4,106, or 58.5%. So Divya Sharma will be the next academic affairs commissioner. For campus events commissioner, Neda Saigon, got 5,977 votes. For community service commissioner, Adriana Harwood got 5,974. For cultural affairs commissioner, Malik Flournoy Hooker got 6,052 votes. Facilities commissioner, Zara Hajji got 5,081 votes. Financial support commissioner, Aaron B. Day got 5,211 votes. Student wellness commissioner, Christina Lee got 5,977 votes. And for transfer student representative, who is between Saran Stokes, who got 3,468, or 52% of the votes. And Ashraf Bashir, who got 3,206, or 3,206, or 48%.
Okay, thank you. So, I can entertain a motion to approve the election results from the 2017 USAC election.
And move to approve the election results from the USAC elections 2017.
Second by Ariel. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All those opposed? No others abstaining? The 12-0-0 vote. The election results have been confirmed. And I just want to say, thank you so much for your service to this body. Thank you. That concludes our item of new business. Next, moving to announcements. So, any announcements from the council? Yes.
So first I wanted to give the non-camp events that are coming up. Summerhawk Modern is having a friends and family night, May 11th in Lot 7 at 10 p.m. Some of y'all have said that you want to be more connected to the dance community. This is the first step to being more connected to them. It's showing up to their showcases. The Chinese American Culture Night is going to be May 13th at 6 p.m. in Royce Hall. So those are the two events that are coming up that are not calculated. Jazz Reggae is coming into its 31st year. Tickets are going to be sold until tomorrow. If you are interested, some of the artists you probably know, Daniel Caesar, if you see the lineup, Protege. So I'm very proud of them. They once again are still in the green and they have a reserve now, so financially we've been healthier than ever. Maybe we can go into this later. CAP is hiring right now until the 15th. World Fest Week is this whole week. And then as an update on the CAP Day, it's a very successful event. I really thank Zach, Christina, and Jordan for being there. In all, we didn't expect this, but they were generous enough to give all semifinalists funding for their events and also mentorship. And they totaled about $5,000 to students with ideas that they pitched to these investors, along with Blackstone Watch Party, and this stuff. So, and the Cultural Affairs Commission also gave some percent. It's a very successful event, and Red's Life wants to institutionalize it, and they need to do it.
Thank you. Additional announcements from council. Okay, seeing none, I believe that concludes announcements. Okay, that concludes announcements for the council meeting, and then we will conclude with the signing of the attendance sheet. So I believe that's somewhere around here. If we can begin to pass it around so everyone can sign. And with that, I can, I believe, entertain a motion to adjourn council at 8:01 p.m. Yes.
I move to adjourn council at 8:01 p.m.
And a second, second by Ariel. All those in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All those opposed? Now those abstaining. By a 12-0 vote, the 2016-2017 USAC Council is adjourned for the last time at 8:01 p.m.
View of everyone in the back.
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will,
that I will,
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
support the Constitution and the bylaws
support the Constitution and the bylaws
of the Undergraduate Student Association of UCLA,
of the Undergraduate Student Association of UCLA,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
promote, maintain, and defend
promote, maintain, and extend
the work, value, and name
the work, value, and name
of the University of California.
of the University of California.
They got you, my friends got you.
Yeah, what's your name?
Please say that. You said it. That's my favorite
I'd like to call this meeting to order at 9:50 p.m. This is not traditional, but I do want to thank Sabrina for creating this agenda for us. Being part of the last one. Creating our agenda for the future. We're going to begin with the signing of the attendance sheet. And as we move into the approval of the agenda, I'm going to recommend that we strike the funding applications, given that the prior council just took care of that. Is there any motion to strike that from the agenda?
Yes, Queen, lead that meeting.
So wait a second. Great, Malik, thank you. I'm glad that. Seeing as we probably don't have any officer member reports, we also recommend that we maybe move to strike those in the agenda as well, unless officers would like to present something at this moment. Unless we want to entertain them. Okay. Then in that case, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for May 9th. Thank you, Divya. Can I get a second? Chloe, thank you. So the agenda is approved. Next, we're going to begin with public comment. Is there anyone in the public who would like to make public comment? I'm going to start this way and move this way. If anyone would like to step up and provide public comment? Please.
Officers have the video at hand.
Oh.
Really, smart too.
Hi, I'm Jordan Hayes, and I'm a fourth year bio student at USAC, and I just want to say I'm super excited for all y'all on council from here, and I'm now a relevant of peace.
Start back over here. If anyone would like to step up and provide public comment?
Hi everyone, my name is Chloe Bashir. I just want to say that I'm really excited to see all these faces represented here. I know that y'all will advocate really hard to make sure that the communities that are here that all can't be inside of this room will be heard. And I'm excited for Soren, that should be our transfer lab. We're excited for everyone. Y'all can do really good.
Thank you. We're going to begin again over here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Please.
My name is Alicia, fourth year, I'm a studies major. I'm so proud to see this table of all of y'all from teacher positions, contested or uncontested or not. I'm so excited for all the work that you all do. And know that you guys serve more than just the faces that look like you, more than just the voices that you can hear on an immediate basis. It's gonna work for everyone. I would call each of your names out. I'm not just extra. I'm so happy.
Can we get over here?
I just want to say congratulations to everyone that has been elected to serve these positions this year. And wish y'all the best of luck with fulfilling your platforms and listening to the needs and current assessment of our campus climate. And if anything, just to ask, look at how the last couple councils have ended and to make it a goal of yours to not end the same way. Thank you all.
We can get over here. We'll do one more round just in case anyone changes their mind. Ready, Jerry? Seeing none, since we didn't vote to approve the agenda, I will entertain a motion to vote to do so now. Since these aren't good, we just did the vote.
Yeah, so y'all have like vote on everything, which is like kind of sometimes, but so you moved to approve the agenda, but you have been seconded, but you just need to make sure you actually vote to vote. There'll be a vote, they are approve, the negatives are abstain, you would abstain unless it's conflict of interest. You were at the meeting before, all here now.
Therefore, all in favor of approving the agenda? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All opposed? Seeing none, we move to approve the agenda for May 9th by a vote of 11 to 0, obviously. Next, we're seeing as there are no special presentations or appointments, we're going to move into officer member reports. If I could just say a few words myself, I really want to echo the sentiments that were made specifically about looking at the council that we're inheriting. It's very painful to hear that there were relationships at this table that made it difficult for people to fulfill their duties and responsibilities. I think we all know the campus climate that we are inheriting right now. And I truly hope that over the course of the next year, we'll all be able to foster personal relationships with one another to ensure that we are able to fulfill our duties and responsibilities to serve every student on this campus to the best of our abilities, and to also ensure that we're able to support one another, because this is a difficult job, and it's not one that does not require the utmost amount of courage and dedication. And I want you all to know that this is my public commitment to each and every one of you to be here to support you however I can, and I hope we will make that commitment to one another and ensure that we can do our jobs to the best of our ability. Moving to the internal assessment review.
I just want to say I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and yeah, I just want to say that like we have our year here, and now we're on our platforms, and that they were to check on us, and
Sure. So just an update for everyone in the spirit of transparency, I want to let y'all know that my office applications will be coming out next week. Regardless of what spaces you come from, regardless of what your experiences are, I would love to see your applications, so please pass that information on, especially for your communities. And I just really want to echo what Christina said earlier, which is that we have a seat at the table, but our work is for those who don't have a chance to have this seat, and so I think that's a really important reminder. And lastly, the GSA EVP is organizing a lobbying trip in Sacramento next Wednesday. The application is out close today at 5 p.m. And if you would like to go, let me know and I can pass that information on.
Did you have anything you would like to share?
Not right now.
Okay. Thank you, and the administrative representative.
Yes. So, hi everyone. My name is Jessica Alexander. I'm a student government services division manager. In my role, I work to support you all, help facilitate these meetings, and kind of do the administrative side of things. So I'm really your liaison and connection point to a lot of different departments within ASUCLA, maintenance, custodial, those types of things. So my office staff has also put together these lovely folders that you all have. And in the interest of being green and saving paper, we have flashbacks for you all, which has a lot of information, so don't feel like you need to go over this right away. how you transition into your office. So I'll just pass these down, everyone can take one. CAC and CEC, you have labeled ones because you have a couple extra documents that are related to your office, so just make sure you grab yours if you are those positions. So the first important thing in the right side of your folder that's in front of you now is your hiring packet. And so those need to be turned into the Student Government Accounting Office in Kirkhoff 332 by May 17th in order to get you all processed and on the next payroll period. And so what that means is you need to fill out the packet, and you also need to bring either your passport or 2 forms of ID, which would be like Social Security card and driver's license. So bring that with your filled out packet to SCA. By May 17th is when we will get you on payroll for your stipends. Yes, which starts on May 21st. So if you miss your opportunity to get in now, you will not be on that first pay period, so your check will be cut the next period. And your checks will also be paid in Student Government Accounting. So if anybody doesn't know where that office is, go check it out, see where it is. Also, a couple important dates. So, first of all, installation, that's kind of an exciting big moment for you all. That's happening on May 21st. And I have some invitations for everyone. So basically, you can pass it out to your family or friends that you want to show up to installation to support you and watch you essentially be formally installed into the office. So I'll pass those out. And other important dates that I just want to mention, which all of this is in your intro packet, so just feel like you remember what I'm saying now. Move-in day for your offices in Kirkhoff Hall will happen May 23rd. So move out for current officers is May 22nd. So then you all will start access the following day. And so you'll need to fill out an access request form so that we can get that on your room card. Basically, that's how you will access your office space in Kirkhoff, is with your card and your door and get in. And so if any of you are processing paperwork for your staff, they're also going to need to fill that out and have your signature on it so that they can also get access to yours, just something to be aware of. And then finally, one thing that we will be emailing you all is, for this room specifically for 417, is utilized by USAC offices. And so one thing that you will do in your office is have your general office meetings in this office space. So in order to help you all get a date, and if you would like to yearly book, you're more than welcome to do that. We're going to have a special lottery day for you all to book your first 2 hours for general office meeting only. And there will be an email with detailed information on what that looks like. And that sort of just help you all get your first meeting in and booked before it's open to the other groups in USAC that are also USAC affiliated that get to use this room. So if you have any questions, look forward to that email, and then you can always respond to that if you need anything. And my office is at A-level at the information window. If anybody has any questions or wants to stop by, feel free. That's all I got. Sorry, that was a lot.
I will just say, I'm Roy. I am sort of the career staff that supports your operation, reports and need for you. So I am just sort of their technician to make sure they're, providing services at your accounting department, your government services. Also, the building operation reports to me, and event services. Those of you that do programming, I can help those things. So in general, I'm here to facilitate and support your function. It's your values that are on the table. I would be here to tee up questions for you so that you can then make your judgments. It's all about your values. One thing I'm dependent on is if you want, some help, I'm kind of dependent on you coming in and asking. Right? I'm assuming that you're running your area the way you want to. And if you, in particular, if you want to change something, if that's part of what you want to do, is when you want to talk to me, especially when you want to talk to the accountants. Accountants are about regularity and consistency, and so we want to change things that They're not here to naturally want to change things, they want to keep them stable. So, if you want to change things, that's great, let's talk about it. But that's good to talk to me about this.
Thank you so much. And seeing as we've removed the fund allocations from the agenda for tonight, and seeing as we have no old business and no new business, we'll go into announcements. Does anyone have any announcements they'd like to share? Please.
I'd also like to announce that applications for staff for persons are now open, and they're due May 15th. So if you're interested in applying, you can find them on the website. The website is updated with current application. So, and if you have any more, if you need any more information about it, or have any questions, feel free to ask me after.
Echoing that, Stacy staff applications are open, will be closing next Friday, and then also be found on our website. Echoing that, SWC leadership applications are on our Facebook page right now. We're currently working to get them on our website, but they will be due on Sunday. These are different from our general member applications, which will be open in the fall.
The academic affairs office director and executive officer applications will be open tonight, and then they will be due week 7. Week 8.
Okay, just echoing all of that. My office will be having their applications due beginning of June, so yeah, look out.
Tomorrow, Campus West Commission is hosting cocktail for RuPaul's Drag Race. You guys sitting here. So, if you want more information on that, just go to UCLA Campus West Commission on Facebook. The event page has all the information you need to reserve a spot to come. Because you have to reserve a spot on it, right? But we do have a standby line if that does fill up. So please come out. It starts at 7 o'clock and at 6:30. If people don't come and get their wristbands, then the standby line can keep those wristbands. So come out if you really know from like RuPaul's Drag Race.
I can just make one other observation. It's a little bit awkward, but in truth, so you guys are elected for 2017-18. So we're a little bit ahead of the curve here. So one observation is your money doesn't really come online until August. So you're kind of here, but you don't really have all your money. So you're kind of making plans, you're planning what you're doing, when you get all of that. I just want to I think that will help to frame what you're doing in the immediate term. You're kind of trying to get ready for when your money becomes available on the next year's money.
Yeah, directorship applications open up this Friday for the Junior Representative 3 office, and they'll close the following Friday. So that's for those.
Any other announcements? Seeing none, we're gonna finish with the signing of the attendance sheet, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Justin. Second. Sorry, thank you. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 13. Great. We adjourn the meeting at 10:06 p.m. If we could turn off USAC Live. Thank you.